Oh, good to see you. Alhamdulillah, alive and I went to Vienna. Yes. Vienna? Vienna. It was amazing. هلا ما في بلاد؟ Caltech? With Caltech?
Yes, it's called.
Should we start?
You are the only one who should be able to understand. It's doing all in
I've been on with another company. Hey, how are you?
Good, and you?
You again. Please take a seat.
There might be. You can move a bit.
Yes, but no.
Meeting invite here.
Shall we share the
Recording right now.
Okay. All right, Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Azure Culture community. I see a lot of new faces. So raise your hand if this is your first time attending a session at the Azure Culture community. Have you been here before? Oh, okay, probably they haven't met before. All right, welcome to those new joiners and those who are regulars. Welcome back to our regular sessions. My name is Fatih Durgut. I'm a solution architect. I work here at Microsoft, focusing on data and AI. And I have here my colleague, Fatih Durgut, probably know him, and Shersha as well. They're also fellow solution architects. And along with them, we run the Azure Culture community. It's been going around for around 2 years-ish now. We've been growing a lot this past couple of months. Ooh, Cher's taking a photo. I'll pose. Okay. So the purpose, this is like just a full disclaimer at the beginning. This is not, we're here at the Microsoft office. We are Microsoft employees, but this is not like a Microsoft marketing event. We're not trying to like sell you stuff, although it'd be great if you use these things. But this is just purely us. It's a volunteering community where we, just a bunch of geeks, we love these tools. We love to share and talk about them. We love to help people use them, and we love to learn from people that are using them. And we run events every Tuesday. We have it in the office, and also we stream it online on our YouTube channel. And everyone is welcome to join, whether you're someone very junior. We have, I think, some university students and fresh grads here. We also have people who've been in the field for like longer than I've been alive. So it's a welcoming community. It's inclusive. We learn from each other, and it's a great place to spend your time after work. Trust me, it will be worthwhile. And at the end, we network and have pizza together. Maybe we should change. I think people are really sick of pizza. Just sushi next to.
No, that's some people are looking for the shawarma.
Shawarma, yeah. Some other types of dishes.
Yeah.
So without further ado, I want to introduce today's session. So today we're doing something special. It's called VS Code Dev Day. So this is actually an international event happening all across the world throughout the month of September and October. And we are the only team in in the Middle East doing it. Have some people from Kuwait reaching out that they might also do it. They were inspired by us. So that's good. So how many of you use VS Code on a day-to-day basis? Great. And I hope this inspired you to come to this session. So this session is all for VS Code people who use Visual Studio Code, which is a Microsoft product. Some people don't know that it's actually a Microsoft product, but it is a Microsoft open source product. And a lot of these new tools that you see coming out there, like Cursor, another one, is actually just a fork of VS Code. So there's a lot of exciting features that came out in the past years, ever since AI and Copilot became a thing. So we have here our expert Fatih, who is an AI and Apps Senior Solution Architect. For the next 3 hours, we're going to dive deep into Visual Studio Code, how to best use it, maybe some features you are aware of them, features you're not aware of them, and it's going to be hands-on. That's why I hope everyone brought their laptop. Did they get the Wi-Fi code? Yeah. We're gonna. Okay, yes, great. Yes. If you don't, I think it's the password there. October. October. Yeah, with lowercase October. Just log into the guest network, and then so the way we're gonna do it, Fatih is gonna first have a talk. He's going to speak about the Visual Studio Code and some other material there. Then we're going to take a prayer break. And then after that, we're going to continue with the labs. And of course, we're here to help and facilitate. Do you have questions? Feel free to raise them. This is a safe space. Everyone here is to learn. We all learn from each other. And so we get started. Any questions before we get going? All right.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Sorry? Yeah, it's right there at the back, October with lowercase. So very secure password.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our VS Code Dev Days. As Fatma introduced me, my name is Fatih Durgut. I'm working as a cloud solution architect in Microsoft last 15 years, and I've been developing application last 24 years. As Fatma mentioned, maybe it's more than some of your ages. So today we're gonna focus on the VS Code and some hidden features that we have in the VS Code and how you can utilize those features in the VS Code. We will talk about those details. We will do some demonstrations, how to use those features and how to utilize these AI features, especially in the VS Code. And then we will after my demos, I will hand over it to you. And I will ask you to go to our demo website and do some hands-on labs. And as Fatma mentioned, we're gonna help you to do these labs also. So I'm gonna skip this part and we'll start with the Visual Studio. What is Visual Studio? So I believe some of us already remember this old guy here, right? This old Visual Studio. Yes, the old one, like me. I believe it's 20 years, something 20 plus years old, Visual Studio, right? And now we have the young one, VS Code, and even the young one is 10 years old. And now we have active 15 million monthly developers for both of them, who is working on Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code together.
Thank you. I don't like this. Yeah, it's like talking. Someone else talking for me. But
can you hear me?
Okay. I guess maybe I just have a bit of hearing loss.
And of course, we have also GitHub. It's a platform. It's not only a source control management system. It's a platform for all developers, which we have currently 150 million active developers worldwide using this GitHub. And with the help of the AI, these numbers are getting more and more every day. And it's going to give us a platform from hosting to code, from securing to code, deploying it, and developing applications with the help of the AI. Okay, but today our focus is VS Code. Of course, we will talk about GitHub a little bit also, but today's main subject is VS Code and how to utilize it. So this is VS Code. Now it has been 10 years. We first introduced this VS Code to our customers. It's an open source development platform, IDE, integrated development environment. And during those 10 years, we improved the VS Code a lot. And nowadays, this VS Code utilizes lots of AI tools inside it. Without leaving the VS Code, we can go to the GitHub, open the GitHub issues, manage the source code, check in, check out. There are lots of features that we can use in the Visual Studio Code. And I'm going to demonstrate them in a bit. One of the main force behind the VS Code is the extensions. So when you go to the extensions part of the VS Code, extensions marketplace part of the VS Code, most probably you already done this before, you will see maybe hundreds of thousands of extensions which you can download freely and use it in your projects, right? That's one of the strongest feature of the VS Code, which supports you on your daily development life. And also on top of it, since VS Code is open source and it also has APIs at the background, you can also build your own extensions and you can use it in your environment. You can use the VS Code for any languages. Some of them are out of box, like C#, C++, JSON, Java, Markdown. It supports all of those languages. If not, most probably you will find some extensions on the marketplace to use to start developing your own development language. Okay. Recently, for example, even the Oracle announced that the PLSQL developer is going to be sunset soon, PLSQL. And they also suggested to move to the VS Code. So right now they are building an extension. Oracle is building their own extension called PLSQL in VS Code. So they will ask their customers to move to the VS Code while they are developing if you are developing PLSQL codes. Okay. And it's fully customizable. You can change the colors, you can change the icon set, you can build your own themes and according to your needs, maybe according to your accessibility needs, right? So it's fully customizable and you can do this kind of customizations in your environment. One of the hidden features in the VS Code is the settings sync. So if you log in VS Code with your either GitHub account or Visual Studio account, you can sync your settings on the cloud everywhere. So whenever you log in VS Code with the same account, you will reach those settings back in your environment. So you don't need to copy and paste anything. Everything is stored on the cloud. Even if you open the VS Code in the browser, which is code places in the GitHub, right? You will have the same experiences what you have in your development PC. That's one of the advantages of using VS Code. Another hidden feature is the profiles.
This will sync the extensions as well?
Excuse me?
The installed extensions.
Yes. Profiles, another feature. You can have separate profiles for the separate development environment. Let's say you are working with Angular projects. So you have an extension sets for the Angular, right? But at the same time, since you have a full stack developer, you are also working on a SQL Server or PostgreSQL or Oracle. So you can create another profile for those development environments, let's say Oracle, and you can just install the extensions which you're going to use in the Oracle development. Or you can install the extensions only for the SQL Server development and you can use it in that profile. So what's the advantage of using these profiles? Because if you are using Visual Studio Code, you know it, right? When you install lots of extensions, it's getting a little bit heavier, right? The response time is going down, decreasing, and loading those extensions takes some time. Sometimes it will give some unresponsiveness. Sometimes there will be some conflict. For example, if you have both SQL Server extension and Oracle extension, then you will get a conflict for the SQL files. So you need to choose which extension will be the default editor for the SQL files. And if you are working both of them at the same time, you need to switch those things all the time, which will be a headache. So what you can do is you can create different profiles to create a lightweight environment for your development session, and then you can use them. And those profiles also sync over the internet. So if you create a profile from one of your PC, and if you go to the office and open another PC with the same account, you will see those profiles. All the settings will be stored in the profiles folders. Okay, I'm going to show them later. VS Code gives us also freedom of coding anywhere. It supports it has a web version. If you go to vscode.dev, you will have the Visual Studio Code in a browser, inside a browser. How it's happening, as you may know, maybe the VS Code is built on a Chromium engine, which is a Chrome-based application actually. Since it's a Chrome-based application at the background, you can run this application in a browser, a Chrome-based browser easily. Okay, so if you press F12 in the VS Code, you will see the developer toolbar, like you see in the Chrome. Okay, so actually it's a browser at the background. The engine is the browser engine. So you can use it inside the browser. Or you can use the VS Code in the code spaces, GitHub code spaces. You can use it in the Mac PCs, MacBooks. You can use it in the Linux. You can use it even in the iPad by the browser or Android by the browser. So it gives you this freedom to use it in anywhere. Okay, and it has a rich features, like it has an integrated terminal. It can be a PowerShell terminal. It can be a Bash terminal. It can be any terminal you wanted. Azure CLI, so on and so forth. Git terminal, right? You can run the code, debug the code inside the VS Code. It has the out-of-box version control system. So if your source code is hosted in a Git repository, it doesn't matter which one is it that you are using. It can be Azure DevOps Git repositories, GitLab, GitHub, you can use it, okay? There are some build tasks. You can keep the history of your files, track them, teams, accessibility, and webs. So as I told you, this VS Code is an open source application. So if you go to the Microsoft GitHub repository, you can find the source code of the VS Code. And it is an AI-powered code editor. So we're going to talk about those things today. So for now, it's enough to talk. Now I'm going to move to my demo. Then we will continue to finish those remaining slides. But as we mentioned, we're going to give a break at 6 p.m. for the prayer break. And then we'll continue. Okay? Any questions so far? I believe this part is easy for everyone. And we are all on the same page, right? Good. So let's start our demo. Also, go to VS Code. Okay, this is my VS Code. Let's start with the profiles, right? Here, if you see that I am currently working on the .NET profile. I created those profiles for myself because I have different customer, different use cases. That's why I create different profiles. If you want to create your own profiles, you can go to the settings and you can see all of those profiles here. And for each profile, you can set up where do you get those settings? You're gonna get the default settings, or you're gonna create your own settings. So let's say I want to create a new profile. You can either create it from templates, and these are the out-of-box templates, or you can create a profile. You can import a profile. Let's say if I want to create a new profile, let's say data science. I don't have this data science profile. So then I can choose where am I going to get the settings. Its own says copy settings from data science profile, from the templates. Keyboard shortcuts, none. Default, getting it from the default profile, so on and so forth. I believe you got it, right? And each profile, which has its own folder in the app data, user data, app data, roaming, blah, 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 and then you will have a separate folder for each profile. So if you switch to different profiles, for example, right now I'm in the .NET, if I go to, let's say, Oracle one, it will take me to the Oracle profile. And as you can see, the number of my extensions are very low right now. Let me close this folder. Okay, which extensions do I have? Let me do it again. Oracle. I have just few extensions here, and I can use those extensions, which makes it lightweight, and which gives me a lightweight development environment for me. So I don't need to carry all of those extensions in a single profile, right? It will make our life easier. So that's the first thing that I wanted to share with you. What else? So we have, let me go switch back to my default profile, which is .NET. And if you go to the settings, there are tons of settings here that you can edit. Some of those settings are experimental. Some of them are there for a long time, but that's the place that you play with your VS Code. For example, if you search for the, let's say in here, coding agent, just a couple of settings I'm going to show you. Here in the coding agent, you see there is a use chat sessions for cloud button. Okay, when you activate this, let me open a folder. It'll be much easier. Pause. Chat window, and if I search for the coding agent, when I activate this, you see there will be another button shown here, visible here. This one. Fortunately, this button is not here. Okay, but if I activate this feature, so it will be gone. And if I activate it, this will come back. So what this button will do, it will delegate your AI session, chat session to the cloud, to the GitHub. Okay, it will run at the background. That's one of the feature that you can use, for example. What else? If I search for the agent sessions, so this is the agent sessions view location. If I say they disabled, one item disappeared here, right? If I say view, I can see my previous agent stations. Okay, so this is the history. I can see all of my previous chat stations here in this window. This is also experimental. So if you want to see your history, what have you done with the agent, what kind of conversation you have done before, this is the window that you can see it. If you don't use that one, the other window is this one, show chats. This is the original one, but if this is much better. Also, let's say you have also some sessions running on the GitHub itself, on the cloud. So if you have a remote sessions, you can see those sessions here, which is running on the GitHub, which is running at the background. That's the screen that section that you can see your remote sessions. Okay, and if you search for the AI statistics here, AI stats, yep, it's already enabled. Look, this is my AI stats on the down button. If I disable it, my statistic, let's say what, gadgets disappear. And if I enable it, that one, again, it will show me my statistics. So if I hover my mouse on it, it shows that how much I am using AI versus typing. So I've been using AI 89% over typing. It means that I'm very lazy, right? I'm not doing anything. Most of the things is handled by AI. So that's how you can see your stats in the VS codes. Okay. What else? For example, if you search for the max request, chat agent max request. What is this for? The maximum number of requests to allow per turn in agent mode. So when you are using the GitHub Copilot in the agent mode, it will try to complete the task by turning these problems again and again and again. And the default value of this max is, I believe, 10. It will try to fix this issue, or it will try to answer your questions in 10 turns. But generally, it's not enough. Okay, for the most of the tasks, especially for the enterprise questions, this 10 is not enough. So you can go to here, max request, and you can increase the number of the turns. But don't forget, it will try to do it in 1,000 times. Of course, it will consume your Copilot bandwidth, Copilot usages, right? If you are using pay-as-you-go kind of thing, every interaction will cost you. So you need to be careful about this one. And some of you, I know some of you are working in enterprise organizations. They have these enterprise accounts. So they have a kind of unlimited rights to do those turns, to ask these questions. But for the free version, you have a limited amount of permission, or let's say rights to use the Copilot. I believe it's 2,000 chat per month. I'm not 100% sure, but something like this. So if you search on the Copilot plans, on the Internet GitHub Copilot plans, you will see the different limitations. Okay, so that's why you need to be careful about this max request value. This is also done. And what else? Yes, another important and tips for if you search for the approve. Okay, so here's the thing: chat tools, edits, auto approve. Okay, you know, when we are using in the chat, it will ask you to take some actions, and some of those actions, this agent modes do it on behalf of us without asking us, right? But some of them, it stops and asks us if you want to continue. You need to go and click approve to continue, right? So you can change those settings from here. So these items are the one which is the first one is it's auto approve. Okay, so these are the files are much against the global pattern. I believe these are the exceptions one. You can add item here. If you scroll down, there's another one, terminal auto approve, for example. For example, you ask something to build a web application, right? And it writes a .NET build in the command line in the terminal, but it doesn't run it. it will ask you to run it. So if you want to skip this approval process, you can go to those settings and you can say that auto approve. So how are you going to do it? Right now, we haven't developed a user interface for this one. That's why you need to go to the settings.json. Here in the auto approve, you see I already add them, .NET build and .NET run. Out of box, they are not here. Okay. Since I'm using those commands a lot and I don't want to approve all the time, I edit them here, so it will automatically approve on for me. Okay, that's another settings that you need to tweak while you are working on your projects. And these are just a couple of examples that I showed here. So if you go to those settings, if you search for the AI section, you will see lots of different settings, especially for the AI section, Copilot section. There are lots of experimental settings that you can find. Go and read them, check what are they for, how it can help you in your day-to-day development workflows, and activate or deactivate them. Okay, so we cannot talk all of them here, but I believe we all got the idea, right? Good. And also another tip for you, we have a web page, VS Code web page. Search for the VS Code releases. You will see each release and release documents in that web page. So, and whenever your VS Code is updated, you will see a notification on the left bottom side. There's an update. You need to go and update it, and then go to the release page and check what kind of new feature is coming with this new release. And believe me, it will take a lot of time to check all of those new features for every build. So in every build, we are adding more than maybe 20, 30 new features into the Copilots. Okay. It's another good source for you to check what's going on in the Copilot. Yes, check it with pages. And yes, another one, this is fun, but it doesn't work for me. If you search for the voice, and you will see that voice speech should be this one. Yes, voice keyword activation. If you activate this, keyword activation is listening for hey code to start voice chat session in the chat view when you are in the chat view. Okay, quick chat, inline chat in context. So when you activate it, you will see a new microphone here and it's listening. This one is listening to you. And if you say, hey, code, which never works for me because of my pronunciation, which never works for me, it will activate the listening and then you will start talking with your code and it will type. Let's say you are in the chat window and you can say that, hey, code, I want a new web page, blah, 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 and it will type it here. So you don't need to type. More laziness. But it never works for me. Anyway, that's another feature. Is
that translation local or does it go to the cloud for that?
So if you talk chat in, let's say, Turkish, it will answer you Turkish. So it doesn't matter. So it will understand you. Okay. But let's accept this one. It's not 100% accurate in Turkish than the English. Right? English is much better in my scenario, but I don't know your language, so you can try. But if you are like me, if your pronunciation is not good, and if it couldn't understand hey code, so you can click this microphone icon here. You see the little microphone, it will type for you. Okay? Of course, it will not. So that's another feature that you can use. Okay. What else? So I think we are good with the settings. Let me stop this one.
For the labs and things like that, do they need to do any of these settings, or they will be fine with the vanilla?
They're fine. Out of box settings will be enough for them. But when they got more experience with the VS Code, they might need to tweak those settings to make it much faster or make it more valuable, beneficial for you. Okay.
Okay. What time is prayer break?
6. We're gonna give the break at 6. Yes. Okay. So first of all, now let's talk about the agents, right? Chat mode. So in this new chat mode, you can maximize it. We couldn't do it before. You can make it full screen, or you can have multiple chat sessions at the same time. You can open the chat in editor. So you can have 2 chat sessions at the same time. Or you can also open the chat session in a new window. So you can have 3 different chat sessions at the same time, and you can increase the number of chat sessions, of course, depending your request. And then if you want to take it back, move it back to here, and then you got the point. You can close it, open it again, so on and so forth, and you can see the whole history from this history window for each chat session.
Chats are shared between the
Sorry?
chats are shared between the sessions.
No, they have different sessions, but it will consume the same GitHub accounts.
Different contexts.
Different context, but the same payment.
This chat mode based on GitHub Copilot, or
Yes.
can we use something else as well?
Yes, I'm gonna answer. The question is, can we use something else, another model? I'm gonna show it. Good question. Anything else? Any other question? So we can maximize it. We can open it in the editor. We can open it in a separate window, right? We are good. Let me take my notes. Yes, now let me make it. Let's do this one. Let me open a folder. Let me open this one. Parts on it. Open my chat window. Make it full screen. So you see these shortcuts here: add context, extension, and commands. These are some of the shortcuts that you can use in your chat sessions. For example, if you want to add a file, if you want to mention a file or folder in your chat, you need to use this sharp icon, and then you can mention a file name here. For example, what's the what is this? So if I go to, for example, in the parts unlimited, I have a source folder. Inside the source folder, I have, let's say, what do we have? Album data, right? So if you type sharp and if you say album data. Let's try this one. Give models, not add, sorry. I saw this album data. So that's sorry.
Need to have the editor first.
No, I don't need to. I don't need to. Either you can drag and drop to here. The same thing. You can drag and drop, or you can do a sharp and the folder name or the file name. Maybe I need some time to load this context in memory. That's why I couldn't see it. But that's how you can mention those files in your project. Again, actually, that's a good tips. So if you open this file, it will be automatically part of your active context. So you don't need to drag and drop. You don't need to mention it. But let's say if you have lots of files in a single folder, and if you want to mention this folder, then sharp will help you. So just type sharp and the name of the folder. It will take all the files inside this folder into the active context for you. Okay. This is the first thing, the sharp. The second one is the extensions. Yes.
So if a directory or a file is in context, what does this mean with the number of tokens being used for the conversation? Let's say I want some change in my currently open file, this album file. So this whole file will be part of my my prompt.
I didn't get your question. One more time.
So I can work on this file.
Thank you.
So if I want to use this agent mode,
We don't want you to ask the question.
and to maybe add a new function or modify an existing line of codes. So how the prompt will look like in the backend? Like, will it send the complete file? How the context will work with the LLM?
So I don't know.
And your question is, when you use a file, would it ground itself in that file?
No, he's
That-
asking. So let's say we have multiple files open in the active window, right? And we are asking chat in the agent mode to do something. He's asking what will be the context of this chat going to the Copilot at the back.
He's asking engineering question rather than the user interface side.
No. It's not just that. I'm concerned about the number of tokens I'll be spending with the code development. So it's directly related to cost.
You shouldn't worry about those things. You know, there's a concept of, if you are talking about the billing, right? I'm worrying about the billing. So if you have an enterprise account, if you have an enterprise or Pro Plus, okay, this simple questions, simple queries will consume one unit from your one request, let's say 1 unit, right? If you ask a complex question, then there will be multiplier according to your model. Okay, so if you choose, for example, Cloud Sonnet, for example, it's multiplied by 10. Okay, so it means that if you ask the same question to GPT-O, it will consume 1, but the same question with the Cloud Sonnet, it will consume 10 times more than the GPT-O.
So you won't get charged per token?
Yes, I don't know if it's tokens, but it's about your account and how you got built. So you have, let's say, if you are using free, you have 2,000 rights to ask the question, right? 2,000 questions per month. So each question will be 1. But if you use this Cloud Sonnet, it will be 10. Single question will be like a 10 question. So instead of us consuming 1, it will consume 10. So that's why you need to be very careful which model that you are using for which questions. Don't use a nuclear weapon to kill a fly, right? That's the idea. But the context, I don't know if it takes everything, summarize it at the background. I didn't check those details, honestly.
As far as it's working, I think we are good.
Next.
It's fine.
Exactly.
We will not break it.
I love actually Claude Code. I haven't used Copilot with this.
When I tried with Copilot, it was a lot. There was not a lot of code. Maybe there was around not a lot of code, but what I understand is when I was trying to run, it was taking the whole context.
Yeah,
But if default, whatever the file is open, it takes it gives priority for that, whatever is open.
Mhm.
And you can also highlight the code which you want to with the question. So it takes only that. So it depends on how you select it.
In the lab, like I think I'm also started learning from Fatih this, right? So the first thing is if you are new to a language, you can ask question to teach you something, like for a particular module. Like previously we were used to go to a search engine and type something and then learn it or do a video. From here you can ask that I want to learn this kind of function or module. Can you teach me or ask question if I did that things or ask me a Q&A? It will give you those options. The other thing is if you want to change the whole like files and things like that, you can do that as well. The other thing is later on in the lab, there will be like things which you can do inline updates as well. So there's different modes that you can update it. But I think with the lab, you guys will get a flavor of it and then you can go more advanced accordingly.
May I ask you something? We have a limited time, 2 to 6. Let me finish the demos up to 6. Then we will go to prayer and then we'll come back. I will answer your questions also. Okay, let me finish them because then we will start the hands-on labs part. Okay, or I can take your questions offline. Because there are lots of things that I want to show you. So, but this is the part that I mentioned, right? If you go to the ask mode, you see the Cloud Opus is 10 times more expensive than the other ones. You see GPT-4 is 0. So it's free for your, depends also your license. So it's 0, but this is 10 times expensive. Okay, so that's one important thing here. Another one is extensions. If you type, you will see the extensions. So you can use those extensions in your chat window. Where those extensions are coming? They are coming from those extensions window which you installed. Also, you can use some MCP servers. You can install some MCP model control protocol servers, and you can use those tools inside your chat window. Okay. And the last one is commands. If you type the sharp, you will see the commands. So if you want to learn more, just type help. So you see it gets me the Azure/help. It will get me a help from the Azure, right? It will give me the list of the commands for me. Or let's say if I type lists, switch to .NET version. So these are the MCP servers that I will use in my environment. So let's say if you type, okay, list is running. So it will give me the list of the active context or whatever. So these are some of the shortcuts that you can use in your environments. Okay, so you will get the details of those commands in your hands-on lab section.
Maybe some people don't know what MCP servers are.
I'm going to explain it. Okay. I'm going to explain it. Okay. Now, what else? Okay. Now let's talk about extensions and MCP. Okay. Maybe you heard about the MCP. MCP is a model control protocol. It helps us to communicate with the models and the AI tools. It's a standard to help us to communicate with the other AI tools and models, right? Instead of inventing the well every time, we define this protocol and everyone using the same protocol to communicate between each other. And Visual Studio Code is also an MCP server. It can host MCP providers and tools inside it. So right now, what I did, I installed a couple of MCP tools in my VS Code because I'm going to use them in my environment. So where are those MCP tools are coming from? So if you go to the GitHub column, should be So, yes, github.com/MCP. Okay, if you go there, this is our marketplace for the MCP tools. If you go there, you can see all the MCP servers that you can install your Visual Studio code, VS Code. For example, there's a GitHub MCP. If you install this GitHub MCP, you can communicate with GitHub inside the chat. So let's say you want to create a new issue on the GitHub. So it will go and use this GitHub MCP. So you want to create a new branch by just typing in the chat window. You can say that create a new branch based on dev branch on my active repository. It will use this GitHub server, MCP server, to go to the GitHub, my GitHub repository, and it will automatically create a new branch for me. If you scroll down, you will see that Azure one, if you want to play with your Azure environment, you can install the Azure, you can create new resources, you can get the list of the resources, so on and so forth. Microsoft Learn, it will go and check the Microsoft Learn documentation for you. Azure DevOps, let's say you have an Azure DevOps environment, you can communicate with that one. AI Foundry, same stuff. You can use the AI Foundry, Kubernetes services, so on and so forth. As you can see, there are lots of different tools that you can use. This is the official marketplace. But if you want to go more, if you want to check other MCPs, there's another repository called github.com/model context protocol. And inside this model context protocol, if you go to the servers, you will see the global MCP tools, servers here, and also SDKs. Let's say you want to build your own MCP server. Let's say or you are working in an enterprise organization, you have a HR application. And this HR application has some APIs, which you can call from the outside. But you want to reach those APIs from the chat window instead of calling it with the API call. So what you can do is you can build an MCP server in front of your HR application, HR APIs, and you can call this HR application from any chat. Give me the list of the employees which has a manager positions. So it will go to the background, find the right API endpoint, get the list of the employees, so on and so forth. You can do this kind of things, okay? So your code will start talking with the other codes, okay, with this MCP server. So, and you need an SDK, of course. So this is the C# SDK, Java SDK. You can use those SDKs to build your own servers. On top of it, you can go and check all the third-party servers. And as you can see, the list is very long. If I scroll down, there are tons of MCP servers which you can install and use it. Going down a very long one. And if you scroll, and you will also see some community servers. And again, this is very long list. You can build your own MCP server also to provide the data to other clients.
I just want to also say, like, this is actually really, really powerful. For those of you who are not using it, it really helps a lot. It eliminates context switching. Like, just another way of thinking of MCP servers, think of them as just like tools that the AI assistant can readily use. Instead of you going ahead and creating a tool, it's already there. It's really powerful. So instead of like going to the Azure portal, doing things, you can just straight away from the VS Code editor, ask it to, hey, like check the settings for this or change this. Just give it the credentials and then it can go ahead and do that. And so many of these other tools. It's really, really powerful.
So how am I going to install it one? There are some shortcuts here. Installing VS Code, just click it. It will open the VS Code and it will install it. In some scenarios, if you go down, you will also see the documentation of how to install it, manual installation. You see there's an installation here, installing with the cursor, Claude, VS Code. If you want to install it manually, you can go and install it by using this configuration. You just need to create a folder in the VS Code. Then you need to create an mcp.json and paste it. As you can see, you need an API key. Okay, so you will take this API key from the provider of this MCP. Most probably you need to pay for it, and then you will start using it in your chat window. Okay, so there are two ways in the Visual Studio Code to have this MCP servers, extensions and MCP servers. Some of those extensions are coming from the install tools. For example, when you install the Azure extension, it will automatically bring this MCP inside it. When you install the GitHub extension, it will automatically bring this MCP inside it. So you don't need to install it again. But some of them needs a custom configuration. For example, this one. So this is my configuration. It's in the user profiles mcp.json. So it's currently running. So you can stop it, restart it. And this is my API key for the Figma MCP. Figma is a design tool which you can go and fetch the designs from the website and ask the Copilot to generate an HTML from this design, for example. Okay. This is how MCPs are working. Of course, this is a global place, but also you can install the same MCP inside this, inside the.
I think just
Sorry.
in case the prayer time is getting over, maybe we can take a break, maybe. I'm not sure.
So yeah, we still have some, I still have demos that I need to continue.